All right, today we are diving into a really powerful idea from Rick Rose's book, Success Under Supervision. We're going to get to the bottom of the one thing that really separates just having a goal from actually achieving it. Let's get right into it.
Okay, let's start with a feeling I bet every single one of us knows. You know that feeling. You're at a conference or a big seminar. The music is pumping, the energy in the room is just electric, and you feel like you can do anything. You are ready to go home and change your entire life.
So you walk out of there, right? Your notebook is crammed with plans. You've got this fire in your belly, and you are just so ready to take action. You think, this is it. This time, it's for real. You're 1,000% sure the new and improved you has finally shown up. But then, Monday happens. The emails start piling up, the kids have practice, the daily grind just takes over. And that incredible fire you felt just a couple of days ago, poof, it's not just fading, it's gone. And you're standing there wondering, wait, what just happened? And here's the kicker. This isn't a personal failure. This isn't you being weak. It's a well-documented thing called the motivation decay curve. Within about 72 hours, our brains are literally wired to go back to normal, back to baseline. Without some kind of external structure, our biology just takes over. So here's the big point. We've been counting on the wrong thing all along. Rose says that motivation is great. It's the spark, but it's not the fuel. To keep that fire burning long-term, you need a totally different system in place. So if motivation isn't the answer, what about just good old-fashioned willpower? Just toughing it out. Well, the book points to some pretty mind-blowing science that shows why even our strongest internal drive is just not reliable. The reason why is a concept from psychologist Roy Baumeister, and it's called ego depletion. Now, don't worry about the fancy name. The idea is simple. Think of your willpower like your phone battery. Every time you make a tough decision or resist a temptation, you use up a little bit of that battery. And he proved it with this brilliant and kind of cruel experiment. He brought people into a lab that smelled of amazing fresh-baked chocolate chip cookies. One group was told they had to resist the cookies and could only eat radishes. The other group, they could eat whatever they wanted. Easy enough, right? Okay, so after that, both groups were given a puzzle to solve. But here's the trick. The puzzle was impossible. The group that had to use all their willpower to resist those cookies, well, they gave up in just 8 minutes on average. But the group that got to eat the cookies, their willpower battery was still at 100%. They kept going for 19 minutes, more than double the time. Same puzzle, same types of people. The only difference was how much mental energy they had left in the tank. And this gets us to a huge idea in the book. Trying to achieve a big goal using only discipline is like trying to run a marathon using the energy you'd have for a 100-meter dash. It's the wrong fuel for the journey. It's designed to run out. All right, so if willpower is the problem, then what in the world is the solution? This is where the whole thing shifts, and the book introduces what it calls the accountability gap. And the data here, it's genuinely shocking. Just for a second, think about one of your own goals. What is the actual tangible difference between something you hope you'll do and something you know for a fact you're gonna get done? Turns out, the answer is surprisingly simple. Just look at these numbers from a study by the American Society of Training and Development. If you simply have a goal, you've got about a 10% chance of success. Okay. But if you commit to someone and have a specific scheduled appointment to report your progress, your chance of success skyrockets to 95%. Let that just sink in for a minute. The difference between a 1 in 10 shot and an almost sure thing wasn't more talent, a better plan, or even working harder. The only thing they changed was adding that external expectation, knowing someone was waiting to hear how they did. This leads us to tearing down one of the most common and, frankly, damaging ideas out there, the myth of the self-made person. Top performers don't just succeed on their own, they are masters at building systems of accountability around themselves. The book shows that behind pretty much every single icon, there's a hidden structure. Steve Jobs had his coach, Bill Campbell. Warren Buffett had his mentor, Benjamin Graham, who drilled discipline into him. Michael Jordan was an incredible player, but he didn't win a single championship until Phil Jackson showed up and built a system around him. They didn't do it alone. And this is a really critical mindset shift. For the best in the world, accountability isn't some crutch they pull out when things get tough. No way. It's a strategic weapon. It's the operating system they install from day one to guarantee high performance.
Okay, so how do you actually do this? How do you build this system? Well, the book gives us a super practical framework called ACTION to turn all these ideas into a real system you can use.
It's a clear 6-step process. First, announce your goal to someone. Second, commit to it publicly. Third, track the metrics that actually matter. Fourth, and this is the big one, install weekly reporting, a mandatory check-in. Fifth, own the consequences you agreed on if you miss. And the last rule, maybe the most important, never ever disappear, especially when you're failing.
When you boil it all down, this is the core message of the entire book. It's right here. The idea that we can or even should try to do everything by ourselves, that's probably the biggest and most expensive lie in personal development.
And so, we're going to leave you with the same powerful question the book asks its readers. Think about your most important goal right now, the one that really matters, and ask yourself honestly, who holds you to it? If the answer is no one, well, you now know exactly what needs to change.